Hey, what's up, everybody?
Hey, what's going on? This is the BlabberMalt Show, episode 62 for June 4th, 2024.
Heck yeah.
We are at the Schnitz Production Facility in Strongsville.
Yeah.
Igor and Jerome. Hey, guys, what's going on?
What's going on? How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Good. You find us okay over here tucked away in the Industrial Parkway?
We did.
Very good.
Took the back way in this time because of traffic, and first time down that backside of Progress Drive. It was nice. Uneventful little drive out here.
Very nice. Well, Jerome, I'm Igor, by the way. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Schnitz Brewery. And besides me, I have Jerome Moore.
Yeah, I'm Jerome Moore. I'm our Director of Brewing Operations and Head Brewer. So let's get this underway and let's go.
Yeah, let's do this. We're going
Might
to
as well.
drink some beers.
Cheers.
Before we get too far, let's review the socials. You can find us, the BlabberMalt Show, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, and at BlabberMalt at X, Instagram, and Threads. Nobody's on Threads, so it doesn't really matter.
You can find us on Facebook at Schnitz Ale Brewery, Schnitz Ale Productions, Schnitzelhaus, on the World Wide Web, X, I think, Instagram
Not
as well.
X,
A little bit of X.
maybe. And Untapped.
Oh, Untapped.
Oh, Untapped. most
Oh,
importantly.
we know about Untapped.
Everyone knows about Untapped.
Yeah.
Come on, Tom. He's not here to make fun of him, so I shouldn't do it too much. But
Yeah.
he wanted to come
He
here
can
tonight and
still.
check in beers with y'all, so he'll do it next time. That's fine. So, hey, we're hanging out here tonight, and a lot of things to talk about with everybody. But first, kind of do a recap, just catch up with everybody. Dave, how was your weekend, man?
It was great. Marblehead, again, up there over at the neighbor's house, getting wrecked on the
Ooh.
deck. You know how we do.
Tough life.
A lot of beers. He had his poker group up.
Ooh.
Dan, just the boys.
Nice.
Poker group, doing activities on the beach, a little putting, chipping,
Ooh.
and grape throwing. Well, I
Is
don't
there a
need to
story
go-
behind that?
I don't need to go into that. That's terrible.
Do I need to Google that?
No.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't Google grape throwing out there in the world. So,
Yeah, and we're going up again Wednesday. This is the wife's short week, so we're going to be back up
yeah.
there.
Wednesday through Sunday.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Wow.
Better recover right now.
I know.
Shouldn't have had a beer. Should have liquid IV or something. It's all
How much
good.
did you work this weekend?
How much did I work this weekend? How much did I work the last 2 weeks, right? As everybody knows, open up a new location, it was insane. So
Congratulations.
thank you very much. I think we did, and we were open all week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday for lunch. It was a lot. We were busy, and it was fun. We had
It's
a
good, though.
good staff, did a great job. Kitchen did a great job. I was there from probably 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day, and it's an hour and 10-minute drive each way. So it was a whirlwind of a weekend. I kind of slept a lot I guess Monday.
Yeah.
And this morning I
You
slept
did-
until
You guys had a band out there
7:15.
Friday, didn't you?
Yeah, Friday we had a band. We had, and then Saturday too. Same,
Okay.
2 guys. Yeah, so a single guy playing guitar
That's fun.
on Friday night, and then musician playing piano, solo guy on Saturday. He's coming back this Friday night as well. Jeff is his name, and really just had a good time.
Nice.
People had first time having live music in the area, downtown Madison. So it was a pleasure to do that. So,
Nice.
Yeah, good weather.
Where exactly is Madison? I'm not really too familiar.
Yeah, so Madison is on 90, about 62 miles from Avon. So Geneva on the lake, that area right there close to Ashtabula, right there. So it's not close
Yeah.
at all. There's nothing
No.
around there whatsoever. Nothing around there at all.
Well, now they got good beer around there. That's all that matters.
That is what matters, right? So I think
Yeah.
that, it's exciting there's difficulties, right? I mean, as you can even talk about where we're at here now, this being the old kind of brew kettle production facility, what it's like taking over an existing business, people coming in, same thing, what's it look like, the questions, that's what we did, right? So and then the means of doing that, you have those questions and, okay, you're only closed for 2 weeks. Is it the same people? What's it look like? What's the menu? I used to eat this. Well, why don't you have that? And what does your beer look like? And well, I want to try the other stuff. And I'm happy you don't have that anymore. Just all the things back and forth across the board we had to go through. So, but I was happy to be there to do that. Talk to hundreds and hundreds of people as they came through the door, and we really kind of create and cultivate that atmosphere of being a brewery first that does have good scratch-made food. That's the feel we want to be. We don't want to be that kind of that restaurant in Madison. We want to be the brewery that you can come have some shareables, some snacks, some good
Or
food,
the
and
worst
enjoy your
is when
time.
they say, "Oh, you're that bar in Madison." You don't want that either. You want to be the brewery in
Going
Madison.
to be the brewery in Madison.
Absolutely. But yeah, for us, I mean, we have a little bit, similar to some degree. We had the Schnitzel House, obviously, for 20 years. So before we even took the venture into the brewing, world.
What's that like? Talk about that.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I've been part of the family business since I was born, basically. My parents immigrated here with me.
That's how Europeans work, by the way, folks. You're in the business since you're
in the
born.
business for life. So, my parents, we immigrated here in 1999. My parents started a little convenience store. They didn't speak much English whatsoever. We immigrated from Germany. So I was, after school, middle school, I went to the convenience store, cashier, stock shelves, really learned that business from a young age. Eventually, they ended up selling that convenience store. They really boosted it up. It was called Lakewood Beverage and Deli at the time in Lakewood, right across from the Buckeye Beer Engine over there on Madison. So yeah, we ended up selling that, and then they found the opportunity to open up the Schnitzel House, and that was kind of their passion. My mom used to be a
Head shop now, isn't it?
which one? No, I don't think so. Over there in no.
Right across from Beer.
It's called like Taste of Europe, I think now.
Okay.
So it's still like a European store. That's kind of what we focus on then too. But anyway, so the Schnitzel House kind of the opportunity arose, and my dad used to be was a butcher back in Europe. We started in Yugoslavia. There was a civil war. Long story. One day maybe they'll make a book or something like that. But I can't. Not enough time to talk about all that. But anyway, my dad was a butcher. My mom was a chef. So they really got into that restaurant business. They sold to the convenience store, and then just grew it organically. And then alongside was myself and my sister, who ended up leaving the state, went to Florida, and actually I just went to her graduation 2 weeks ago in my University of Miami. She became a doctor. So someone's got to have the brains in the family. But so just working with them, I really understood the whole entire business, and I'm like, listen, we got to do something a little bit more than just stuck in these four walls. And I've always had a passion for beer, especially German style beers, lagers, stuff like that I've been accustomed to. So then started, teaching myself how to homebrew. I ended up going out to Vancouver at a place called Three Dogs in White Rock, Vancouver area over there, and kind of worked a little bit with them for a week or so, a couple weeks, just kind of saw what the production was like. And then came back and was like, all right, we're going for this. We're the first brewery ever in Parma. So I had to do a lot of, legal work and whatnot, just trying to get that thing zoned and ready to go. And now fast forward and
Just jumping through a lot of hoops to get everything.
A lot of hoops. I mean, we really the process was started in 2017. We opened up the Schnitzel Brewery in Parma in 2021, as you know. And right now I've got this baby and I've got 2 kids as well. So just trying to talk, I'm sure with 4 kids, right? There's a lot to balance. The work life is kind of gets a little difficult, but the big picture is what we're striving for. But yeah, so I want to also, Jerome, if you want to tell a little bit how you came on board.
Yeah, so basically came on board about 3 years ago, right around this time almost. Helped Igor and his family get the brewery set up in Parma, where things should go, how things should go, figure out what our brewing philosophy should be, and we've been trying to stick to that pretty solid through the whole last basically it's 2.5 to 3 years now.
I do want to chime in too. So, not a conspiracy theorist, but I think we live in a simulation. No, I'm just kidding. But no, the funny story is when I got into this process of brewing and all that, and when I wanted to open up the brewing facility, I'm like, well, I know a little bit. I've homebrewed, but I need to find a brewer. And I also didn't really know exactly we're scaling up now. Where do these things belong? Blah, blah, blah. So I started doing some research, went on YouTube, and funny enough, I found a story of Jerome and his colleagues at the time. They did a story on YouTube on how they built out railroad at the time. And so I went over there.
Yeah, he came into the brewery, like I'm in the back of the brew house. And then I'm like, who are these 2 weird people just coming up to me, talking to me? I'm like, can't you see I'm busy?
So I'm just asking. I'm like, oh, who's the architect that you guys use? Because there's a side, they talked about it, all this stuff. And he's like, oh, LS Architects, all this stuff. And then fast forward, 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years ago, I
3
left.
years later, basically.
And then my next door neighbor's like, "Hey, I was just at Das Schnitzel house for an post funeral dinner." He's like, "Hey, I was talking to Igor. They're looking for a brewer." And the next thing I know, Igor's giving me a call literally the next day.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, "All right, let's
So
talk on Thursday." And then Friday, we're like, "All right, let's sign this. Let's go."
Yeah. A Polish guy and a Serbian guy, taking on the brewing world. No.
Over
it was wild.
Schnitz.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And
World Cup, actually, I think it was.
oh, World Cup. That fits you guys too, though. I mean, it's your thing. So it's kind of, if you don't mind, I want to kind of piece back from what we talked about.
Really bad.
Because I think it's a really cool story, right? I would probably could do a whole podcast on the history of your family, right? That whole process of immigrating over here and working and having a different background and really trying to make the American dream in a different way, and then kind of jumping to a restaurant. And this for my kids. If you're watching this at some point, they've been working for me since they were all 12.
There we go.
So my daughter's one of our managers now, and she's there tonight. And we're just chit chatting along the way, and all three of them have worked their tails off for me.
Well, my parents immigrated in the late 60s, early 70s. So my old man, he opened a machine shop. So I was in there since I was a little kid, sweeping up grease and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, it's what you do when you're European. You just work with the family.
Right.
See, family business. Let's go.
I love family business.
At least when you're a male. My sisters were able to do whatever they wanted.
Same with this one. It
My
seems like,
sister
right?
just left as soon as she could. So
That's fine. Hey, it's all worth it though.
It's
So
all worth
let's jump a little bit quickly to, the restaurant that has been open for a very long time and has a big history in Parma. And so you went off to your home brewer, which is fantastic. I think Dave might want to ask you some questions about that. Deciding to go was across the street, right? And open a brew.
Initially, so if you're familiar with the Schnitzel House, there's a little garage building on the side of it. And when I linked up with the architect that they used, the original plans were to put a small brewery inside a garage that basically had like 20 seats, not even, for like just reserved only, and just brewing only for the restaurant, And then it was going to be like a 3-barrel, if that, system. And we put those plans in, and this is back in 2017, and the city didn't approve it because there was another property right next to it, there's, due to setbacks and stuff like that. So we scratched it, and eventually, we're just kind of waiting on it. There's this thing called, obviously you got the tied house law and stuff, so you can't just open, have a different brewery and also have a retail shop. But there is a law where if you're within a quarter mile of your restaurant or your manufacturing site, you can have multiple locations.
Correct.
So we were just kind of waiting, and the right opportunity just stumbled upon us. It was right across the street, and we haven't really looked back since. But
Nice. So what is across the street when people are going to head over there? That's still open?
Yeah, so that's the Schnitzel Brewery. That's the Parma Brewery. It's literally, if you walk outside the Schnitzel House, you see it. It's directly across the street. The Schnitzel House is 5728 Pearl Road. The brewery is 5729 Pearl Road.
And what would you walk in? You would see what's there, sort of by to know. Like
so just a beautiful, I would say, rustic beer hall.
2-story building, wood tables, ornate metal finishing all over the place, European style. I mean, really super nice.
Yeah. We imported, luckily, this was happening right during COVID. We were able to import some, like the railing and all these, ornate metals and stuff like that in from Europe. And it was right before, I don't know, are we allowed to swear?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, before the world went to shit to some degree, right?
Yeah.
We got lucky with that, so.
I hear that. So what size brew house do you have over there?
Over there is a 7-barrel.
Okay.
Yeah, 7-barrel. We had we started with 4 7-barrel fermenters and a 7-barrel bright, and then quickly realized that we need to expand. So we were able to get some alpha. Like literally, they shipped to us next week because someone didn't end up purchasing them.
Yeah,
15 barrels.
2 15 barrels over there. So right now we actually only have the 7 barrels over there in our bright tank. We moved our 2 15 barrels out of there over here into our production facility because it just makes more sense.
Doing some high gravity, ideally. Well, we haven't commissioned them yet, but
For sure. So you're still brewing over at the other site?
we are. So that's more like the R&D.
Yeah.
So if we, take a beer that we really like, we might try to mess up. Not mess up.
But play with it a little bit.
Mess with it is what I meant.
Play
to
with
say.
it a little bit.
Right.
Add different hops, maybe
screw it up.
different
Yeah.
yeast.
See how bad we can screw it up.
Yeah.
No.
So speaking of beer, we're drinking beers right now, right?
Yeah.
What are we drinking?
I got the Brochacho.
I also have the
lager, yeah.
Brochacho.
So what is the brochacho? What do you tell us?
So our brochacho is our version of our Mexican lager, using Mexican lager yeast. We actually don't add any salt or lime into the beer itself. We think it comes out, the beer itself just comes out really nice and flavorful by itself. If you want a lime, we got no problem giving you a lime and adding it to it.
Want me to get you a little taster?
I'm gonna drink this.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm drinking our version of From the Heart this year. I think it came out really well. We tweaked it a little bit. And then you're drinking our hazy, Matthias. And we're still dialing that in over here. And I think the batch that we just canned today, which you see our new cans out in front of us, came out super excellent.
Nice. That is a good Mexican lager.
It is. And this time of year,
It's clean.
I get into these a lot, and this is very
We
good.
usually, throw the lime in there.
Yeah.
Gives it that lime flavor.
But I appreciate not putting in
Exactly.
in the brew day because let the customer figure that out.
Well, you can always
how much
add
they
flavor.
want. Yeah.
You can't take it out.
Right. Yeah.
So if it's in there and someone goes, well, I don't like this because the lime, I can't like fish my fingers in there and be like, oh, here you go. We took it out.
There you go.
Have
Oops,
fun.
sorry. Yeah.
I mean, you could. That'd be one hell of a bartender. Be like, I got this.
I got you.
Get in there and dip it out. And
Oh, there's that video online where the guy's like, oh, can I taste your beer?
Yep.
And he goes, brrr. The guy's just looking at him
Yeah.
like,
at least he didn't lick it first. That's all good. So we have a 7-barrel brew house. You're doing your R&D across the street, which was the actual initial brewery. So if can I still go over there and have a pint?
Yeah, definitely. Open 7 days a week there, Monday through Friday. I think we open at 11. Saturday, Sundays we open at noon. Full kitchen, full bar. Whatever you need, we have it over there.
And then I, piggyback a little bit on what you said with even Madison. That's something that we're trying to do too. Match beautiful scratch food with, our good tasting beers. So a lot of the things that we do, one of the biggest challenges that we've came across was just as far as the restaurant goes. So the Schnitzel House has such a long-standing history and all that stuff, and people know it. So now we can't necessarily compete with it with the brewery. But we can't deviate too far away from what we do. So it's a nice little, it's a game of, like basically just figuring out a gastropub version of like the Schnitzel House that people know and love. So some of the items that we have on there, we have like this Nashville hot schnitzel, which is
fun.
probably like a rock star. Yeah.
Yeah.
You like that?
I
Yeah.
do like the Nashville hot stuff.
Yeah. So it's
have
a
an egg.
giant schnitzel.
Like I was just there last night with my family eating like their eggplant schnitzel. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Beef stroganoff, like American pub food, and then some of that old European food that we have to have. I
Right.
mean, it's in our name.
But then it's also a smokehouse, so we make our own sausages there. We have like a beautiful sausage charcuterie, which is kind of unique. So it's two of our homemade sausages. It's a bratwurst that's lightly smoked, and then a German sausage, which has a little bit of a kick. And then it's paired with a couple different high-end cheeses and different accoutrements.
And this is all at the
Yeah,
brewery.
The brewery. Yeah, the main in
Yeah,
the Parma
yeah,
brewery.
the Parma brewery.
And then it's also a smokehouse. So we do smoked wings, we do brisket, we do pulled pork.
I feel like we're talking about sausage and smoking sausages, and I just
This is a sausage fest tonight.
I
We're the only ones
should,
here.
Gotta make a joke. I can't help
We're
myself.
gonna do a sausage fest anyways.
Yeah, we're doing one in July.
Yeah, we're gonna hold our own sausage fest.
Excellent.
Yeah.
No, in Jerome, it's not not out of the realm.
Oh man.
My man, that's funny.
So what's the brew house size over here? We got
So over here at production, we have a 20-barrel system.
Oh, yes.
It is Brew Kettle's old system that they decommissioned, I think 2019, 2020, when they
Yeah,
moved
yeah.
over and bought Fathead's stuff on Sheldon Road. So we have 5 20 barrels, 5 40 barrels, 2 30 barrels, and 2 15s over here,
Okay.
plus a couple bright tanks.
okay. So
I was going to say the wild thing too. So that system has been, I guess, around since 1997. I think it came in from
Northfield Park had it originally, then it moved somewhere else, and then it ended up over here.
and it's still it's a workhorse. It's
Yeah.
still running perfectly. Knock on wood, jeez, because
Yeah.
this stuff gets expensive when you have to fix it.
yeah, it's beautiful too. It's all copper clad.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna.
I
go
put
check
some
it out.
beers in that before with these guys, just kind of collaborations and whatnot over the years.
Nice.
One of my first years in the industry, I don't know if I think it was maybe one of yours too. We actually did Ice Dragon for Cleveland Beer Week over here.
That was one of our recipes we did here, Ice Dragon. That was a good beer. People still ask for that. on a regular basis. We actually brew that every year now, a similar version of that in Medina because of the Ice Festival. So when we opened up Medina in 2019, 2020, that beer we brewed it again for the Ice Festival, Ice Dragon. People just dig that. It was a good beer.
It was like an IPA wit mix or something like that, if I remember right.
It was a white IPA.
Yeah.
Obviously, we brewed it here. Why not do a white IPA?
Right.
I mean, go figure, right? Go
Yeah,
figure.
for sure. So you guys are servicing, was there 12 taps here?
Yeah, we got 12 taps. Yeah, we got 12 taps over here. A
14
rotation.
every now and again.
Yeah, we're starting a Fruitcream program. Our lead brewer, Scott, awesome, does a lot of good stuff with.
Was at Brew Kettle.
Yeah, he started off at Brew Kettle here when he started his brewing career on this system. He's got pictures of it coming in pristine copper.
Oh, yeah. Polished.
Yeah.
Well, the lineage coming out of either Fatheads or Brew Kettle is pretty intense, right? I mean, both of my guys had worked at those places before, and we're both here working in this exact same facility. So it's kind of
Throw a stone and you're going to hit someone that worked either at Fatheads or Brew Kettle.
yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, that's true.
So we have an individual who worked at the family restaurant, probably humping smoked meats and busting tables and everything, right? Who did some home brewing and decided that they were going to kind of take the family name and do a little side turn, which is a great idea, by the way, especially during that 2017-18 time you're the thought process of.
Right.
Opened a brewery across the street, second restaurant, brewery, second location, decided to be worse than me, right? Just go all in and pick up a production facility
I know.
nowhere close to your house. So what's going on with that?
So, I mean, I think it was kind of dumb luck or, I don't know, some kind of crazy misfortune.
Well,
No,
I
it's
think-
not the misfortune, but dumb luck.
Well, I wouldn't call it dumb luck. I think
No.
it was also your family's ambition. Like, you guys
Right.
didn't want to just stay stagnant just with Dachshund's House and Schnitz Brewery. Like, you guys had this ambition to keep growing.
And it really, it also just growing also puts, we were able to put more back into the community, back into, our employees, so that's kind of what we're always trying to strive for is just the growth, it helps everybody out, helps out the community and stuff like that. But, the way it kind of happened was, I think we really expedited our process, maybe like 3 years, I'd say, but it was an opportunity that we couldn't, leave in a sense. Our GM at the time used to work for the Brew Kettle Tap House, or, over here, the original location on Pearl. And, he got me kind of linked up with them. He's, letting me know that that Brew Kettle ended up taking Sheldon, and they got this vacant space here.
Well, like I said, I think it was our ambition to keep growing a little bit, and we were basically locked in at what we could do in Parma.
We were,
with
yeah,
that
we were
system.
kind of tapped
like
with that, yeah.
We couldn't distribute as much as we want to, or if we had to distribute, we would lack product over at Parma, so we'd be losing product in the restaurant, which is never good. No. So it's like, all right, we do need to expand. Mm-hmm. So, and then, like I said, we were lucky enough to get hooked up with the Brew Kettle.
Yep.
Definitely, yeah. And I got to say, this space looks a lot different than it did back then, right?
Oh, I walked in and I'm like, listen, guys, this is kind of gives people flashbacks because right behind the bar, where the old Maheen bottling line used to be, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Well, so if you can actually see behind me, I know I take up a lot of the picture because I'm fat, but if you can see where the tap handles are, the taps actually go through where the lines would come out for the Maheen.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was at least supposed to
That makes sense, right? And I took a little walk around, and the trench drain is still there, so that's it's pretty neat little time, right? I mean, I think everybody that's ever worked here or been here before has heard the stories of that bottling line and the area over here, and they used to store the bottles over here on this wall, and you kind of get a glimpse of what it used to look like, but it also, you could even forget that totally, because the space here is just a really cool little thing, right?
Yeah, it's a very cool tap room, pub. Yeah.
And I didn't know this existed. So, when we came in from the production doors that typically would come in, not realizing you had a front door again, even though the sign says front door entrance for patrons. Yeah. We ignored that 100% because we're not patrons. No. So we came in the back way, right where the storage used to be, come through the brewery, and then popped in. And, of course, I needed to use the restroom before we started. And
it's nice and clean and a lot better than it was.
I'm like, my goodness, this is whole toilet. Hadn't been over here yet, right?
manufacturing till.
Well, yeah, I opened the door. I'm like, wait a minute. I didn't realize they had all this stuff here. So I make my way out, and you pop out into this beautiful old world little tap room.
Yeah, this was basically Igor's dad.
Yeah.
He spent so much time in here putting up all the brick and everything, and just linking both locations together by feel.
Yep.
So that if you leave Parma, drive 20 minutes down the road to this place, you feel like you're almost in the same location. You know you're at Schnitz Ale. So.
Yeah, no, my dad definitely, he did all the brick basically himself, and he designed some of these tables, or went and got these tables, designed the whole place really.
Yeah, it's beautiful, guys. I really love it.
Yeah, how comfy are these chairs?
Right.
That's better. Yeah.
Definitely an old world feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And we got all the, German style beers and some, more modern American styles.
This one was pretty crazy. I want to kind of dive into the Yugo 45, which I ended up having to buy a car because I had to buy it. So that's where I was born in, former Yugoslavia. That's kind of where the background story comes. I was born there. There was a civil war that happened in the 90s. So that's how we ended up fleeing, or, in Germany. We fled. My parents took me as a little kid. We went to Germany. But yeah, so now I'm, this is very nostalgic to me. I'm like, we got to build a beer that's kind of like a European lager. Let's call it Yugo 45. There's a song out there that's called that in Yugo Rock. But the coolest thing about that beer right now is we're actually just got accepted into the Brown Stadium, so that'll be out there starting this fall.
Yeah, that's great.
Maybe even for the SummerSlam.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
But it was also one of our biggest viral hits.
Oh yeah.
When we did a candy run of that, and we posted it just kind of like, all right, nothing's really going to happen, and it blew up. I mean,
we'll be happy if we get 100 likes.
Yeah, I mean, we over like 15 million views or something crazy like that. Yeah.
Did you use the song in the?
No.
You just hear the canning.
It was like
running.
a 5-second candy line run, and it went to 15 million impressions.
Wow,
That's fantastic.
that's great.
So now we're in here in Progress Drive, the production facility, and you're brewing for this location, and filling up the taps of the other two.
Schnitzel House, yeah.
Plus, you are canning, right? And you're distributing. I'm gonna ask a couple questions. I'll give you guys the mic to talk. So, are you distributing draft beer as well? And then, what can people do when they find your beer? Is it in all the stores, local areas? How many do you have? Is this kind of your go-to canning line products?
So we distributed with Heidelberg. That we signed that agreement back in April of last year, and right now we have the Dunkel, which is in distribution. So our core products, which would be Dunkel, Classic, Yugo, Buzendorf, and then our seasonal Ribbon Rock, which will turn into the Oktoberfest, Christmas Ale, and our Irish Red Ale.
Gotcha.
So yeah, those are the big ones.
The Ribbon Rock Radler is like a shandy,
Yeah, like some
a wheat shandy, lemon shandy.
wheat. So where was it? I forgot where I was going to go with this.
So we're located in Giant Eagles,
Yeah, that's where I was
Heinen's,
gonna
Drug
say.
Marts, anywhere you're going to find beer, you can
Right,
find
too
us there.
Brochato.
We do distribute kegs too, so if you need a keg, just come to us. We'll get you a keg. Okay. So we can do dock sales.
Everything else is
Yeah.
through our distributor, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it's a win-win, I think, for both of us.
Yeah, Heidelberg's been really good to us, and we think we've been good to Heidelberg.
Yeah.
So they've expanded our brand, and that's
They got us into
in
the Brown Stadium, into the stores.
this point in time in the brewing industry. If you can expand your brand, that's always a good thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's one thing that we do have kind of going for us. We came somewhat late to the game, but you got a lot of people that might be already kind of going on their down cycle right now, just because the beer industry is just kind of where it is. But we're kind of growing with hopefully the turn of it. But there's still 80% of beer out there for us
to
in a
take,
sense,
for sure.
right?
Yeah,
Domestic's got 80% of the product, so
We're also trying
let's
to
crush them.
We're also trying to grow at the right pace. We're not trying to outgrow ourselves too fast. That we're spending. We don't want to spend a boatload of capital and then be like, well, we can't keep up with that capital because of just unforeseen circumstances or something like that.
I will say that's probably the hardest thing. Like there's something we have not been used to per se as a family business is putting all that money into marketing and whatnot. But you really have it's a big marketing game. So now we're starting to learn that. And,
Yep.
And
Yeah, it's different than other businesses, and
Right.
sometimes you can rely on just organic social media, people coming in, the word of mouth, and you mentioned Untapped and
Absolutely,
other
right.
things. But when you're putting beer on shelves,
it's-
trying to get people to go to a store, see a huge 60-foot beer aisle, right, and they're going to go find two or three SKU rows, for yourself. What's that look like? How do you do that? What do you, all of those things.
Well, I think one of the hardest issues right now is to, since there are so many breweries, like everyone just finds their one brewery and they're like, that's who I'm sticking with.
Yeah.
I mean, you get your fanboys of everyone. So it's how can we pull that customer here and there every once in a while?
Just, again, going just straight for the domestic guys, really. I think that we somehow, I think we do a good job of forming alliances, not even alliances, just being a community, right?
Sure.
Everybody's kind of a community. We do some great collaboration events. We, create beer together. We patronize each other. You got, and it's really a wonderful thing.
Yep.
So let's, really, like, we just have to take down the
We've
big
been to
boys.
Parma, not been here.
Right.
But I'm happy. I will come out here just to see it. But we've been
Yeah.
to Parma. Jerome and I hang out. It's just what we do.
Oh yeah, I got some old pictures.
Back when I wasn't nearly
we
as
we,
fan.
we switched bodies.
We did switch bodies for sure.
I feel like I tell you every time, but man, you're honestly looking good.
Thanks, dude.
Looking good.
Sausage party.
Sausage
right on.
party, let's do it. Nah, just kidding.
He's
I
gonna
got 2 kids. Don't worry.
And I
and
got
a wife.
4.
And a wife.
You should probably worry. It's fine.
I think one of the things that helps us though too is like obviously it's our European heritage that kind of helps us with our beer styles too, so that we kind of know what we want to hit with, for that European market that really likes our beer.
I'm not gonna let this go. He went pretty hard on the fact that he's married with kids.
And forgot the wife.
We're good.
I just wanted to touch on the marketing part and going after the big guys, because I think like these cans. I mean, your logo is German, obviously,
Yeah.
right? And these just scream German beer. And I think a lot of people are going back to traditional pilsners
Yep,
and
I agree.
dunkels and traditional styles. But then the Yugo, that's fun,
Yeah.
right?
You got to have some fun too.
Yeah.
Buzendorf, these labels are fun.
Yeah,
and when people go down the aisle, they look at those cans, and it's got to catch your eye.
Yeah.
If that's what you're looking for. So I
Yeah,
think
like I
that's
said,
smart.
with our traditional stuff, like if on our labels, like we say, I think it's sip it.
What?
Just-
well, like on this
It's-
one, we say,
drink a sip
where
of
you
class
go,
or something
I
like
go.
that. Yeah.
Enjoy a sip of class.
Yeah. So that's where the Dunkel, the classic, and like even our old Buzendorf can, like we switched it up. Literally 3 months ago, we switched up to our new Buzendorf can to really have that kind of stick out a little
Yeah,
more instead of our
pops,
Dunkel
neon,
and our
yeah.
and our Kolsch, because the Kolsch and the Dunkel are more traditional, so they have that. All right, let's make those cans look real nice, classic.
Yes.
And they'll stick out by themselves just because everyone is kind of doing really goofy things on their cans, so they stick out on themselves.
I feel like now there's a little bit of a change where people are going more towards this clean line.
Sure.
Something more traditional, like our Dunkel and our classic in a sense.
So how did you come up with the logo? I mean, I see the deer.
So,
I'll be back.
are you getting some more beer? Oh, yeah, the new one. The logo. Actually, there is this brewery in Serbia called Jelen Pivo.
Oh, that's nice.
And Jelen means buck in Serbian. So, and their logo is also somewhat of a buck. So it's got some. That's where I
Yeah.
got a lot of inspiration from.
Makes me want to have a beer and a shot of Jaeger. Just
Yeah,
so
there we
we're all
go.
aware. I'm just saying. And that's wonderful. It's a definitely old world feel.
Yeah,
I
and there,
definitely
also there's
dig it.
a crap ton of deer in Parma. You can't avoid them. So I seen them a lot.
A little bit everywhere.
And bucks.
And bucks. So, looking at the product lines, what's your best seller?
So currently, it's kind of a toss up. In the wintertime, it was more so the Dunkel. In the summertime, or now, it's been more so the classic. But our seasonals have really kind of taken a big swing at it.
Yeah.
So I think that, as you see, I'm projecting the Oktoberfest to really be our number one seller.
Yeah, we brewed actually 80 barrels of our Oktoberfest already because our distributor wants it mid-July for us.
Yeah, that's been another big, challenge is just, keeping up with the distributor wants and needs and stuff, and the market needs.
And then just trying to keep up with what we think we need too.
Right.
Like I said, we had a challenge with our Busendorf. It was just a challenge brewing it here. But we think we finally figured that out. So now we'll see that get into the market a little more and more. And I think that might start taking over a little bit of the shares of the Dunkel and the Classic. At least I think. So that's just me guessing.
No, that's great. And that's one of the things that we always talk about as brewers is that I get that, Oktoberfest is now going to be out in July
I know.
or earlier, right? But that happens all the time. People ask, how does that happen? It really isn't the fact that we want to put that out as early as it comes out, or that I want to put, Christmas ale on draft in October.
Who's the pumpkin ale company that's going to put it out July 31st? Always the last 3 years.
Southern Tier
So
does a lot.
they all do.
It was some kind of pig something. I can't remember the name of it.
Kingpin or Pumpkin? That's Southern Tier.
It was like a pig beer or something like that.
I'm not sure.
Does it?
This is a pig beer too. Can you
Right,
see
yeah,
that?
that's a little piggy right there. Two of them on flamingos.
But they do, right? So you kind of hear these people, and we're looking at bigger breweries or mid-sized to big breweries who have distributors who wanting the product in their hands. So we're looking at June brewing 80 barrels for an Oktoberfest,
Right.
which is later in the year, right?
Well, I don't really get the next
October.
Well,
The season's run short. The people want
Yeah,
as soon as you got the Christmas ale coming out in October or whatever. So by the time that hits, nobody wants the Oktoberfest.
Well, they
anymore.
want Oktoberfest
So it's kind
in-
of it got dictated a little bit by the consumers.
Well, they want the Oktoberfest in mid-July, and they want it out of their place by the end of
Right.
July.
That's a distributor wants it.
Yeah. Like I said, we had a meeting today that we talked about. We're behind our brew schedule technically by 2 beers, but they were like, all right, we really don't need those anymore as fast as we used to, just because we've settled on what our real brew schedule is. So we're like, all right, we got time to put out our faux hammer. We got time to.
Some of those public.
We don't have to start making our pumpkin ale next week.
Yeah, right.
I'm not trying
Which
to
is the
drink
name of the
that
game.
beer the end of summer, it's hot still. I don't want a pumpkin ale or.
So that's something that we fight with too, is trying to keep what we need to do and what our customers want versus what's on the store shelves, and how to kind of be right in the middle of those times.
Right.
Because your draft list, we have what we've talked about, some more world styles here. Your classic, but you do have some pale ales, a wheat ale.
We try to go all over the place. Like I said, we know we have to go all over the place to satisfy everyone. So we want to make sure that whoever walks in through the doors has something to drink.
Yep.
That they're not just going to be here like, oh, you just make all IPAs? Oh, you just make all Pilsners? We try to have something for.
Well,
something for
there
everyone.
are those people that they just want IPAs all day, all night.
No, I dig lagers too, but it kind of I as we looked at procuring the draft list for Madison, there's only 10 taps in Madison, 16 in Medina, 24 in Avon, 12 at ZZ's. Really, the concept is what do people do and what do they drink, right? And it's different everywhere. If I don't have 6 or 8 lagers on out of the 16, they're furious.
Right.
Avon, if I don't have half of them IPAs or hazies, I'm doing something wrong. And
It's
so
because of me and Tom.
you and Tom. So just kind of figuring those things out really is also part of having these meetings and figuring out what distributors want and what's going to happen next for us on our brew schedule, and really consumer driven, but also, what do we want to put out that shows who we are as a brand.
Exactly.
So, I think you've done a nice job of that with your cans, your labels, your product line, as you mentioned early on, that you kind of wanted to hold to the old world style, and kind of have really stuck to those guns.
Yeah.
Well, there's been a lot of, you get growing pains, and you just got to figure out the market. And with us being basically 3 years in November, will be 3 years in. It took a little time. We have, we brewed all over the place, and we still have some of those products. We're trying to tighten it all up a little bit so we kind of really know. But you also want to do some fun things, and
Well, like I said, we know we're doing good with our line of European beers when your family friends,
Right, yeah.
my friends that I know,
Serbian, German people.
Yeah,
I got,
they come
yeah,
in.
my uncle comes in from Germany not too long ago and was drinking our Hefeweizen like it was a German Paulaner or something like that. Loved it. So
we know if
it's
those old
great.
European guys come in and they're going to sit here and go, yeah, give me that beer, just keep giving me that beer. We know we're doing something right.
Yeah.
So when someone comes here to the tap room on here in Progress. I see options for food here too, right?
Yeah.
So what does that look like?
So it's changing a little bit, but right now we have a couple, a bratwurst. We have a like a giant hot dog. We got the giant pretzel, some gyro, Reuben, and then some salad. But we're trying to go a little bit maybe more into like flatbreads and stuff like that. It's a little bit unique because we're limited on what we can do for the time being.
Sure.
Yeah, we just did start to try to expand a little bit, so we started applying for our A1A so that we can start expanding our beer list a little bit, maybe get some wines, some liquors in, and try to do a little extra on the food side.
Yeah. Also, with this building, we also obtained the commissary kitchen that Brew Kettle used to work out of. They've just built a brand new commissary, I think, on Sheldon over there. So, we're in the process of trying to get the agricultural license, Department of Ag and stuff.
I'd love to see that too. I mean, I remember coming here and checking out some of their commissary kitchen in the back. And we do want to get a tour as well today.
Yeah, we'll have to do that,
which is pretty cool.
So,
Can we get another beer?
Yeah, I think one more beer.
What do you want?
I want to go to this.
Brochacho?
Yeah.
I'll do a
Brochacho
too.
That was great.
You have the danks.
Yeah.
Ooh, thanks for the memories.
For the memories.
That was a collaboration.
Pink boots.
Yep.
I'm surprised you didn't jump on that like you did with me.
I
He's like, I'm married. I got kids. It was for pink boots. I promise.
Right. That's a good name.
So what he said was they didn't actually name it. Pink Boots did.
Not being toxic males.
Nope.
No, we are inclusive.
Jerome's here, very inclusive. He has no mic to tell you any different, so it's fine.
Write down
So I guess while he's pouring his beers, I guess looking at from one business owner to the other, there is major risk involved in going from a really iconic spot to expanding your brand, which we've done, and then really kind of rolling the dice and putting it all in, picking up what would be considered a fairly large scale operation here.
Right. Oh yeah.
Right.
Without really much, back
3 years in, right?
No, right. Not yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So for everybody out there, this is what we do.
You got to take risks.
Small business, man. Risk-taking business people, entrepreneurs.
Right.
This is just your family.
Right. No investors.
Yep.
Basically no debt. We do own the whole building too, so we got room to grow and expand. So
Nice.
that really was the selling point to it.
Thanks, sir.
But it's I think maybe that's also like my ADD brain in a sense. Like I'm just kind of all over the place. So I'm like not even thinking about it. All right, let's take a risk. Let's do it. And sometimes it pans out. Sometimes it doesn't. Try to do a couple other ventures that didn't necessarily work out for me, but so far this has, I think.
Yeah,
this is great. You got any homebrew questions for him?
Yeah. Do you have any home brews that you were making in your garage or your kitchen that you have brought
Currently?
to the production?
No. It's already been, like probably 4 years since I homebrewed.
Maybe Jerome,
5 years.
you brought any from your homebrew days?
I have not. Honestly, I haven't really even thought of it too much.
Our chef did something recently. He got into homebrewing a little bit.
Got a little bit into it.
What did he do?
I don't remember what Chef Jackson did. Honestly, I haven't even thought about any of that stuff for a while. Since we had a distribution and all that, it's let's keep this flowing the way it is and make sure it goes that way. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, now that we have the freedom a little bit to do something like that, maybe we'll
start experimenting.
Yeah, I know.
Even on a smaller scale.
I know Scott, our lead brewer, myself, like we want to do an ESB.
Yeah.
I know I have an ESB recipe from my old homebrew days that I could bring in or something
Let's
like
go.
that. So yeah.
I mean, just to piggyback on that, knowing your homebrew background, as we're in the same town for years, and then coming here, this is a way different variety of beer that You brewed production-wise, right, on a
Yeah.
professional scale. What does that look like? How do you the recipes around? Talk through that process really quickly before we get on a tour.
Well, I think one of the things is, like, obviously where we were located before out in Avon, that clientele is just so much different compared to where we're at now. I mean, if you look at the breakup of what Parma is
Right.
compared to what Avon is,
That's-
you know, we're old school, blue collar out there, Europeans, things like that.
Dirty South.
White socks and sandals, you know.
Parma or-
yeah.
South.
Yeah.
Parma.
Oh yeah.
So it's
It really is.
it was curating a menu to that. And like one of the first things we did when we sat down was like, all right, we're competing with Miller Lite, Coors Light, Bud Light.
Yeah.
So that's where
I
Schnitz
can't tell you
Classic
how many
came
people
up.
came in when we first opened up. Give me a Budweiser.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so brewery. We brew our own beer, and they scoffed it off and
Yeah.
left.
So
Many. I'm
yeah.
sure you've gotten that probably too.
So, I mean,
but
we-
now people they get accustomed, right?
Yeah.
Like people end up liking it, and as soon as you really get them to open-mindedly try a new craft beer, they end up always enjoying it 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah, so it's doing a little bit of research, you know. I mean, reading some books, talking to the other brewers that you know in the industry. You know, like one of my mentor is Rick Skanes out of Working Class. Love him, knows so much. So he's helped me a great deal. So I mean, it's just going with that kind of stuff, you know, and then saying, hey, like I said, I grew up in the European culture, years growing up
Right.
in it. So we kind of know what flavors we need to shoot for.
We were like, all right, what will my dad like to drink, or your dad?
Well,
What would
yeah.
your dad like to drink?
So-
Yeah.
So there's that Polish style. It's called Piwo Grodzki, that smoked wheat style. And I tell people, I'm like, no one in my family would touch that beer. And we're a pure 100% Polish. Like that's a beer. Like my family would be like, what the hell are you serving me? So like our Polish ale is a Polish ale. You know, it's an easy drinking light beer that you know what they're gonna go to parties, drink, get in fights, and have a bunch of fun. You know,
Hopefully not fighting. Drink responsibly.
Yeah, my grandma had a saying, "Popijem I pobijem," which is
It's
we're
same in
gonna-
Serbian,
which
yeah,
is we're gonna
PM and
drink.
beat, yeah.
we're gonna drink and we're gonna fight.
That's hilarious.
Wow.
That's
Gosh,
great.
We should get out of here.
Right?
why
No,
they're-
no, we're good.
This is why they're cans saying, "Enjoy a sip of class."
There's not a Polish ale right here.
You do have one on though, by the way.
Yeah.
We do.
Pulaski. So I've had that before.
Yeah.
That's good beer.
I was just gonna say, also with our brewery, it's kind of like a little melting pot of Parma. With me, there's tons of Serbians, tons of Polish people, tons of Ukrainians, and we have all that inside,
Sure.
inside our roof.
I think also one of the things, like we try to shoot for good, clean beers. No all flavors, no nothing like that. You know, just make sure that we're doing what we need to do with the beer to make sure that when we put it out there, it represents who we think we are.
Yeah. When you make that smoked wheat beer, you let me know.
So we do make a roast beer. We haven't made it in like 2 years now.
Yeah.
But with the faux hammer coming up, one of my favorite styles, our faux hammers are Weizenbach, yeah. So we take that yeast and then we make what I like. It's called a Rogan beer. So it's a traditional German style rye beer that you use wheat yeast on to give it an
Okay,
extra
yeah.
like punch of flavor.
I've tried to make that. Mine's not good. It's not
No.
good. Mine's not good.
No, but you just did brew a beer and put it in kegs today.
I did, yeah. IPA. Yeah.
IPA
IPA.
came out.
Yeah, it's just like a West Coast California ale yeast. About 6.5.
Yeah, buddy.
Citra, Simcoe.
And we'll hopefully try that when you guys come out to the house.
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
next. We
Yeah.
have to come out to you.
You
guys
bug any
for
brewers
sure.
for yeast?
I haven't. No, I just.
It's an easy way to get yeast that you don't have to do, and it's fully ready to go.
All right, cool.
I mean, like, so with the brushing scale, I started this little group called a bunch of mooks, which is a bunch of us little brewers around in the area that. Yeah, we're a bunch of jerks. No, we're not. But it's a group to help. Like, say, hey, if someone forgot some yeast, someone needs a bag of grain or something like that, you know, we can reach out to that. And one of the things I've been trying to do is, hey, we have all this good yeast. It's just going to go down the drain. Who needs it? Or who can reuse it in their system? So.
And you guys did that for us, right? I mean,
Yeah, the WB06.
we had we did needed some Hefe yeast, and we talk about a lot about sharing and really working together. Most people get their hops from Fatheads. Literally, even Brew Kettle gets their hops from Fatheads. They just
Right.
buy fields and literally everything, and then can farm it out. They have a full-time person on staff that does their hop
hop
curating
sorcerer.
and
Yeah, Juliana.
Juliana hop sorcerer. But then, also they do yeast, right? Same process. So
Yeah.
if you worked with them and you're on the same time schedule, you can usually pick up, a little bit of yeast to do a side batch or a batch, whatever. We're not the only ones to do that. I think everybody does. We're on the
Right.
big line docket and whatnot. But we were chit-chatting on the phone the other day about, I can't even remember what it was to start with. Then I asked you about yeast, right?
Yeah.
And then we're just like, well,
Heavy yeast.
yeah, we have.
About sausage.
What do you use? Wasn't about saucy. What do we do for heavy yeast? He's like, well, I just started this new one. I really dig it. I'm getting some stuff in.
You'll get a taste of it because our half's almost done. So it banana bomb.
Boom. So one of ours is the one we did Krausen on is not quite as banana, but you're right. That the yeast I'm really happy with. So well done with that decision. So we worked together. I already worked the process, and this is what we're here, right?
Again, before I even started, Jerome was there kind of helping me out. Railroad was there. I can't tell you, even, Planet Flag, terrestrial. I've talked to a bunch of guys when I was thinking about doing this operation, and everybody has been always receptive and really, helping us out. So we want to try
Which
to
is
do
the
the
whole
same
point of the
thing.
thing, yeah.
Back to
If we could help someone a little smaller than us,
Right.
that's great. If we could help someone bigger than us,
Even-
awesome.
right.
Like, holy crap. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
That is cool. I would love to take a tour.
Yeah.
So I'll hold the camera. Dave, you can kind of
oh, you want to
Narrate the whole thing?
talk and walk and
talk, walk, and drink.
talk, walk and stumble. It's like a new version of Pop, Lock, and Drop It.
I want to do a little.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, pan around. Check this place out. Nah.
I
You got a-
dig this room.
Yeah, this.
It's cozy.
Got a
I mean,
squeeze box over there. Who's gonna play that later?
I don't know. I
think that was a gift to your dad during his
Yeah.
birthday. Someone got that for him.
But yeah, one of the the goals that we really try to do with this, it feels like there was a need a little bit when Fatheads, when their Sheldon Road facility ended up, when they outgrew that.
Yeah.
But there used to be an awesome, warming, welcoming tap room inside that Sheldon Road facility. So we're trying to kind of welcome that and really make this for people that love craft beer.
Oh yeah, this is way more cozy than that. Open
Fair enough,
air.
yeah. But I wish that there's still a little bit of like the production aspect of it.
for sure. Yeah.
But we're gonna try to start rolling into some beer tours and do things of those sorts, beer dinners and
Cool.
stuff like that.
You guys have a mug club.
Yep, the
Nice.
Stein Club. So we have one in Parma and we have one here, filling up nicely. And then we've been, we have like this little gift shop area where you can also purchase some 6-packs to go and whatnot. But right now it's slim pickings. We are trying to ramp that up, but with everything else going on, it's been one of the things that we've kind of, had to push off to the side. But eventually we want to try to get more hats, tin tackers, anything you can
Yeah.
really buy,
We're still a small operation.
Small.
We don't have a staff of 30 people running around doing things. For
Nope.
us.
For sure. Yeah. Hey, look, my girlfriend's here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sophia.
Sophia. Yeah.
We,
She's tall.
at Ribbon Rock, we were setting up. It was Igor, myself, and our outside salesperson setting up.
Yeah.
It's not like, hey, Bob and Bill, go set up for us.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We're very hands-on.
Oh wait, I am Bob and Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that, I don't know. We'll dive into that a little bit. We got the Ribbon Rock coming up this Thursday in Parma, which should be a big festival, and we're the craft beer supplier for that. And we also have our food truck and Schnitzel House kind of there too.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, that'll be big. We just it's still definitely time consuming, a lot going on.
Now, does the food truck, does that operate out of the Schnitzel House, or is it going to be the
A little bit of
commissary?
both. It's gonna be right now it's its own entity, but eventually it'll be more so
Okay.
running out of the commissary. But yeah, we try to do just multiple day festivals at this point, just because we're stretched so thin.
Yeah.
So we do, right now we have the Ribbon Rock coming up, then we have the Parma Rib Burn Off. We'll have the St. Charles, which is in Parma.
Strongsville's rib burn off.
Or Strongsville's Rib Burn Off. That's what I meant. Yeah.
A couple bigger festivals.
Couple church, festivals,
Right.
and then obviously the big Oktoberfest is probably like our busiest.
Yeah. Fun.
Well, yeah, let's keep walking.
Let's keep walking. Excuse
Sure.
the mess.
Yeah.
It's been crazy the last couple days here.
I don't know. This always irks me. But again, not a lot of time at this moment.
We literally shipped out 300 cases of beer on Monday.
So, we got a ping pong table. If anybody ever wants to try to take me down, I'm here.
And let's go.
I'm not I'm not too good.
Nobody has time for ping pong.
Nope. You can break away. There's always about 10 or 15 minutes for ping pong.
Yeah, look at these tanks. All that copper. This reminds me of. Hey, did I ever tell you I went to Sam Adams in Boston? They have copper-clad tanks too. We brewed some beer
Probably
out
much larger than these.
Not much.
No?
Yeah, and the old brew house.
Nice. But yeah, so when we took over the building, we did a little bit of, a little remodeling the floor, like any other brewery. The caustic and all that acid, all that cleaning product, just right.
Good for us.
So we redid the floors. We were able to, strike on a deal for, keeping most of brew kettles, fermenters, and their brew house.
Yeah, so like I said, we bought their production facility basically. Like I said, if Matthias pans to the left a little bit, you can see the edge of the brew house right here. That's our 20-barrel brew house. Our piece de resistance is our awesome chandelier.
We had one in Parma, so we had to bring one in here too.
Yeah. It doesn't get in the way at all.
Not at all.
But like I said, we were speaking earlier. We got 5 20-barrel tanks, 2 20-barrel bright tanks, then all the stainless on this side. So we got our 5 40-barrel tanks, our 2 30, and our bright tank, and then we still got a little bit of work to get a couple up and running, but we're using the majority of everything.
We're missing just 2.
Some pieces and parts, yeah.
So we're using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 8, right?
Yeah.
This moment. And then this is our canning line that we got as soon as we opened up as well. This is a micro canner.
Flex, I think, is the
Yeah, Flex. It does about 40 cans a minute, right?
Oh, we do a case a minute.
A case a minute.
So we're pumping out 25 cans a minute. We do about 50 cases an hour.
Yeah.
If everything's working well, we're getting almost 60 cases an hour on it.
Yeah.
So it's a good little workhorse right now. But when it screws up, it screws up.
I'm sure they all do.
So yeah. So, but it's been good to us so far.
Yeah. It
Looks
kinda-
cool.
We're blessed to not necessarily have to sub it out to somebody else in a sense.
Party, so
Right.
So with canning is all about margins and how much money you can make off your cans. And in reality, we don't
Most of
make
it's
a lot
marketing,
of
really.
money off
Most
of
of it.
cans. So bringing it in-house helps us save maybe a quarter to 50 cents a can more for us to do it ourselves.
Yeah. It's awesome. That's what we have right now. It's a big step from where we started, but it's working. We're really enjoying every day. Really trying to keep growing and making more beer. The kitchen, it's still under remodel and stuff, but we can walk through.
Then you get
Real messy area.
Yeah, it's kind of where most of the clutter kind of goes, but clutter's everywhere.
cold storage.
So yeah, those are the original ones that came in from Parma. Those 15 barrels. And then the hopes is eventually once we get this commissary up and running, which we just retiled the floors, there's a bunch of more things that we were trying to do. But we want to try to sell some of our pierogies and sauerkraut balls and stuff like that in stores.
Is the smoker still here?
Smoker's still here.
Buying the kegs right now.
It is.
Yeah.
Is because this is where Brew Kettle made all of their food for all of their establishments.
Yep.
It was back in here. That kitchen behind, which we just saw, and that over here was their smoker.
Yeah, so I think before they left here, I mean, they were doing the Football Hall of Fame out of here. They were doing, obviously, Menor, Hudson. I don't think they were doing Brunswick yet because I just opened up as.
Brunswick did it. They weren't.
Yeah, obviously Strongsville. I don't know, how many, did they grow to, what, 6 locations right now? 7? Well, with Block 15. But I think that they're still doing their food out of there.
But good idea.
But yeah.
Put
No.
your product on shelves, great.
But yeah, shout out to Brew Kettle too. I mean, they've really helped us a lot with the process with the move. Mike Vincent came here and, you know, helped us. Jack, everybody. So they've been really, you know, stand-up guys and helping us out, and, you know, hopefully we can return the favor.
Yeah, that's great.
Head back and we'll close out.
Yeah, let's do it.
So what was tell me the story of the chandelier.
Well, the original one that is hanging in Parma was actually our second purchase chandelier. This one was the original chandelier, the outside rings. The inside we found at a garage sale. But the outside rings ended up showing up like 6 months after we already purchased the second chandelier. They just got lost somewhere and just showed up, and it was just sitting outside for like a year. And I remember me and Jerome just kind of like carried it in on the flatbed of his pickup truck or my pickup truck, and we're like, "What the hell are we gonna do with this thing? Can't really send it back."
Then your dad's like, "Oh, I know exactly where."
Yeah, we're just throwing it right in the middle of the production room.
It looks awesome.
Yeah.
Doesn't get in the way.
Never. No.
Sweet. Yeah, there's fun stories about, you know, a bunch of different things. We've got the golden horses here. They're really, I don't know, picked that up at a garage sale, I think, too. There's
Eventually, we'll do some jousting on them.
right, exactly. Put some casters on it and just start
Oh,
wheeling
yeah,
it
that'd
down.
be fun.
Oh, dangerous
Have about 3
liability. I
more
don't want to do
beers, and
that.
we're going to do that tonight.
Right.
For the owners to leave to do that.
Yeah. That's probably what Scott and Jerome do when I'm not around. Yeah, no, I really thank you guys for coming out again.
Oh, yeah,
or
man,
coming
we're-
out to us. I
Thanks
really
for
appreciate
having
it.
us. You guys good to come back in studio, I think, in 2 weeks?
What are we doing in 2 weeks?
Yeah, we can figure it out.
It's a Tuesday, so you know my phone's off. It's Tuesday, so we don't usually have events set up on Tuesday.
No, we'll make it happen. We'll get together and we'll get
Figure out a
out.
date.
You know, the in-house studio is really fun. We get a chance to really dive deep into to you two in general, kind of get some good questions going on. And it's just a fun podcasting time, less about promoting your brand, which we want to do here,
right.
more about you guys as people and just really podcasting and talking about all the bullshit we want to talk about. So
Yeah,
Exactly.
Sausage Fest.
Yeah.
yeah, sausage, smoking sausage,
Sausage Fest, smoking
eating
sausage.
sausage.
He has a wife and kids, everybody. Don't you worry about it.
It's the
all good.
sausage show.
We'll bring some sausage.
You need to bring sausage to the next show.
I wish, I know we were
Next
trying
time.
to do it in Parma. We unfortunately we're closed today. I would have loved to have at least something out here for us, but maybe I got popcorn. You guys want it?
You know what? Maybe we'll do a third show over at the restaurants and kind of hop back and
Yeah,
forth.
That'd be cool.
That'd be
too.
fun. I mean, why not? You got multiple
And,
locations.
yeah.
I think it's important to
I think
spread the word. They're all different. They're all
as much as we're trying to take down Bud Light, let's also take down Joe Rogan while we're at it too.
best podcast in town. So speaking of,
Right.
you know, Dave, tell everybody one more time how to get a hold of us, what to do. I'll give you guys the same
These
deal.
people know are the BlabberMalt Show, man.
Let's go.
Facebook, YouTube,
Nobody
Spotify,
needs you
at
to like.
BlabberMalt, X, Threads, and Instagram.
And share. We're getting
YouTube.
We are on YouTube. The
10 to
BlabberMalt Show,
15,000 views per show, but hit that like button.
Yeah,
It
you
helps
gotta
a lot.
like and subscribe. It helps
Like,
us out.
subscribe so you know when we're going live like we are right now. One more time for you guys.
Schnitzel House, Schnitzel Brewery, Schnitzel Productions, all on Facebook, Instagram,
Instagram.
a little bit
Schnitzel.
on X, I think, and I know we have a YouTube channel for some stuff.
I think we have a X account, and maybe we have one person following it. So maybe this will help us out a little bit on that.
We're a little old, so it's kind of like, all right, we're trying to let our marketing guy start to take over some of that stuff and hopefully push a little more.
Facebook is probably our #1 right now.
I
but-
know you guys got an OnlyFans with that sausage, right?
Sausage Fest, OnlyFans. Next time we're together, we're talking about all of these things and more. It's going to be fun. Hey, guys, until next time, stay malty, Cleveland.
Cheers. Cheers.
I'm gone.
Already? Dang it. Let's go get one more.